February 24th, 2026 meeting of the Oshkosh Common Council. City Clerk, if you could please take the roll.
Stevenson.
Here.
Nichols.
Here.
Amos.
Here.
Spanbauer is excused. Flom.
Here.
Bulow.
Here.
Mugrower.
Here. Invocation tonight will be led by Deputy Mayor Stevenson, and then we'll have some students help us with the pledge.
We come together this evening to discuss the issues that confront our city. May we always seek the wisdom to do things that reflect our concern for the people whom we represent.
Tonight we have the privilege and the honor of being having students from Carl Traeger Elementary and Middle School, as well as I think Martin Luther, to help us with the pledge this evening. Students, if you wouldn't mind meeting me down in front. Turn around. As I mentioned, we have some students from some local schools here with us. If you wouldn't mind, maybe tell us your name, school you go to, maybe grade, and if you have a favorite teacher, favorite subject.
My name is Margaret Recker, and I go to Carl Traeger Middle School, and I'm in 8th grade, and my favorite class is probably art, and my favorite teacher is Miss Abeck.
My name is Elise Fry, and I'm from Martin Luther, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Adele Neubauer, and I go to Carl Traeger Middle School, and I'm in the 8th grade.
My name is Leona Mecki, and I go to Carl Traeger Elementary, and I'm in 4th grade.
You guys want to stand face that way? Great time for it. Well, thank you again for coming tonight and helping us with the pledge. Thank you. All right, we have one proclamation that we're issuing tonight before we get to the public statements and the action items this evening. Tonight, issuing a proclamation, Music in Our Schools Month for the month of March here in the city of Oshkosh. Whereas for 40 years, March has been officially designated by the National Association for Music Education as Music in Our Schools Month, encouraging communities across this nation to focus on music education as part of a well-rounded education for every student, as outlined in the Every Student Succeeds Act. And whereas the purpose of this celebration is to raise awareness of the lasting positive impact of music education on the academic, personal, and professional growth of our students, and where music education shapes the way our students understand themselves and the world around them, allowing for deep engagement with learning. And whereas Music in Our Schools Month reminds us that all children should have access to music in school. And where music educators, students, and communities throughout Oshkosh demonstrate the importance of quality music education programs in the lives of young people. And whereas the city of Oshkosh joins our music students, educators, and the broader community in celebrating the power of music education, it's an honor for me, therefore, to declare March 2026 as Music in Our Schools Month in the city of Oshkosh, and encourage all the residents to celebrate and acknowledge every day, but especially in March, music education is an essential part of every student's well-rounded education. This evening we have representatives from the music community here in the city of Oshkosh. They're going to accept this and tell us a little bit about why this is so important.
I'll go down a little bit. Good evening, and thank you for allowing us to speak on behalf of the music department at our wonderful Oshkosh Area School District. My name is Ryan Lindley, and I teach choir at Perry Tippler Middle School. I'm the president of the Oshkosh Chamber Singers, the director of the new Badger State Youth Choir Oshkosh, and the recipient of the 2026 Wisconsin Choral Directors Association Outstanding Young Conductor Award. Tonight I am joined by two students, Delaney Smith, senior at Oshkosh West High School, and Callie Rudall, did I say it right? Thank you, at Oshkosh North High School. Last year we focused on the wonderful music educators in our district. For 2026 we are focusing on wonderful achievements and accomplishments of our student musicians. So please help me welcome Delaney Smith.
Hello, my name is Delaney Smith. I'm a senior at Oshkosh West High School, and I'm excited to share how music served as a catalyst towards my self-acceptance throughout my adolescence. Growing up, I struggled with my self-confidence, feeling like I failed to fit in with anyone. However, my music classes served as an escape. Not only did I finally fit in by being in an ensemble, I actually excelled and was the leader in my section. Now, I hope to pass along this acceptance onto others. Anyone can sing, and just like in life, everyone deserves a chance. I want to teach music to give this feeling to those who need it most. The educators who have had the greatest impact on my life have always been rooted in music. Their unique position to unlock potential in students' musicality and confidence is unlike any other. Music education is so much more than just plunking notes. It's teaching inclusivity by bringing different voices together. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Callie Rudolph. I'm a junior at Oshkosh North High School. I'm a part of the Oshkosh North Band. I play clarinet and wind ensemble. Band is more than just music to me. It's a place where I feel comfortable and confident being myself. Through performing with various groups and people, I have developed greater self-confidence, especially when playing in front of an audience. I have learned the importance of discipline, dedication, and teamwork. With endless support from all the teachers, music teachers, and my peers, I have developed some of the closest relationships. I have made countless memories that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Being involved in band has not only helped me grow as a musician, but as a person. I plan to continue with band because it has strengthened my resilience and ability to collaborate with others. It is a meaningful and impactful part of my life that I am proud to be dedicated to. Thank you.
So thank you for your time and adoption of our Music in Our Schools Month. As the National Association for Music Education celebrates its 41st anniversary of this event, it's impossible to highlight every program in just 3 minutes or 5 minutes, but we ask you to advocate for our music programs through educating yourself on what we do daily, attend concerts, talk to the educators and students about their experiences, and if you have the time and resources, we do have a gala sponsored by the Oshkosh Area School District and the Foundation on May 1st, 6 p.m. at the Waters. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up, we have public statements to council. I don't have anyone registered to speak. Are you, Dennis, are you looking to speak?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there anybody else?
I have no one else registered to speak. Is there anybody else here that's looking to speak to us tonight? If you wouldn't mind coming on up.
He's on an item.
Oh, he's on a 31. Oh, no, if Mr. Strong, if you, he's on an actual item later on the agenda. Reminder, public statements, public is to address council only. Statements are limited to 5 minutes. Statements must address items that are, 1, not listed on the council agenda, and 2, are limited to issues that have an impact on the city of Oshkosh, and that the common council may address at a future meeting, and also must not include any endorsements of any candidates for actual electioneering. The council cannot respond to questions, comments, or remarks during this time. It's not a discussion period, but it's an opportunity for you to address the council. If you can give name and address, sir.
My name is Dennis Strong, and I'm a citizen of Oshkosh. And I spoke 2 other times to this council before, on January 13th and 26th and February 10th. Without reiterating anything I said previously, I just asked the public to just reflect on those particular YouTube recordings. To give a little understanding to the community to what the people of Oshkosh might encounter me in public or see on social media posts about what I talk about throughout your community and experiences in my personal life. And it's important that I emphasize that what I talk about throughout the community, to the citizens, to the people where I blog about, are the experiences of my own life. I cold turkey quit smoking cigarettes 2 years ago because the Lord has my heart convicted that much about what I talk about cold case homicides and kidnappings. And I complained before this committee about censorship in this area on social media back on January 13th. Since I spoke to this committee then, that censorship has expanded. Channels 2, WBAY, CBS, WFRB5, Fox 11, NBC 26. None of my social media post on there. That is a great concern. I can state this much. At the beginning, before we started here, and everybody convened in here, just short of 6 o'clock, Councilmember Carl Belo made a reference to my statement to this committee on February 10th of my putting my hand on the back of District Attorney Eric Spar. This cap that I have that is gifted to me from the county has District Attorney Eric Spar's signature on the top and County Executive Gordon Hintz is on the bottom. I have frequent conversations with Spar. But Mr. Belo wanted to mischaracterize that off the record, that was an assault. That goes to show the predetermined disposition some people in this city have about me, that you would make a characterization as such, Mr. Belo. I can state this much, that just last week, Thursday, at the Winnebago County Courthouse, I attempted to engage District Attorney Eric Spar in a dialogue about the correlation of a .38 caliber pistol that was purchased by a man named Willard Frank in 1984 and its correlation to the murder weapon not found on the scene of the Asmus murder in the city of Neenah. And Spar responded to me with profanity. I can state this much, and I'm sorry you little ones have to hear this, but my right hand to Jesus Christ, 16 years ago, I confronted my father about him supposedly cementing a gun in the wall, and he spat out of his mouth and said, profanity, you try to find it, or you try to effing find it, verbatim like that. My mom and dad did that stuff. I grew up, my right hand to Jesus Christ, hearing my dad and his friend Leonard Butler softly whisper the Chudikoff name throughout the course of my life. That was the woman, the wife of an Appleton attorney that was kidnapped in 1979. My mom used to tell stories of how we were poor, and she pulled the shades down in her house, and my dad had $100 bills rolled up in there. I can say this much. 4 years ago, I gave a written document to an officer of the court about my needing to debrief criminal activity to the U.S. Department of Justice. That didn't happen as such. A lot of civil rights violations and stuff occurred upon me by local law enforcement. I can say this much. Since then, 3 years ago, Outagamie County Judge Vince Biskupik told me if anybody in law enforcement in Outagamie County wants to question my credibility as an informant, to send those law enforcement to see him. In case the people of Oshkosh are not familiar with who Vince Biskupik is, he ran for Attorney General against our current AG's mother, Peggy Lautenschlager. His brother, Steve, was a United States attorney appointed by President Bush. And I'm running short out of time here. I had a little bit more to say, but that is what it is. And God bless Oshkosh and stay safe. I speak the truth.
Thank you, Mr. Strong.
Yep.
If no one else wishes to speak to us tonight, we'll move right along into consent agenda. I have no one registered to speak on any consent-related items, but I'll take a motion and a second for consent.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on anything consent-related? If not, if you'll take the roll on consent.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Nichols.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Plum.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Mugrauer.
Aye. Ordinance 26-12, amend section 27A-11 of the municipal code to change the parking restriction on Irving Avenue in front of the former Newman Center from 30-minute parking to 4-hour parking.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I see none.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Nichols.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Plum.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Mugrauer.
Aye.
6-0.
Two other resolutions. Resolution 26-96, approve special event, UW Oshkosh Student Recreation to utilize city streets and sidewalks and the Weawash Trail for the UWO Fun Run, April 18th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this one? Please take the roll.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Nichols.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Flom.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Ogerauer.
Aye.
6-0.
And then the last action item this evening, Resolution 26-97, approve Class B beer fermented malt beverage license for Roast and Toast LLC at 305 North Sawyer Street, Suite 100. I do have a Mr. Derek Seminis, I said it incorrect last time, sorry about that, who would like to speak on this. Come on up, sir. Keep it to 5 minutes and the topic at hand. And welcome.
I just want to stop back in. Obviously, I've been here about a month or so ago regarding the quick pantry pub for Lolita. It's kind of similar situation with Dell. He had these plans processed, approved for permit, kind of withdrew his liquor license after there was some concern and you guys wanted some more clarification on how to proceed with more of these sweet pubs and gas stations. So he withdrew it and just kind of waited, and obviously after Lolita's just kind of ordered the glass. No construction happened there because there's a few weeks prior after that. So we've just kind of been in a standstill with that, kind of holding on to the glass, waiting to happen. Similar, just looking to open up a coffee shop within his gas station that serves beer within there. And same situation, not sugarcoating anything, also having 5 gambling machines within that property as well. He owns a few other properties throughout the city of Oshkosh. No issues with at hand, similar to Lolita's, where it's just a place where he's used to regular patrons coming in there and sitting there, utilizing the machines that he's been without for obviously numerous years there. So, that's all I have.
Okay. If I get a motion and a second to put on the floor.
So moved. Second.
Council discussion. Mr. Stevenson.
I guess I just want to start off a little bit by laying groundwork on this one. Our last one that we had of these, we approved. And I think at that meeting, I mentioned something to the fact that I approved it because technically our ordinance hadn't gone into place yet. Right now, we still do have that ordinance in place that says you can't have the 2 liquor licenses on the same parcel. And council can kind of waive those requirements if we have those findings. Something about the tax parcel, the traffic considerations, public safety, things of that nature. I guess not super strong on if this use is in place or not, but I think that our ordinance says that it shouldn't be allowed. If we approve this one, can't think of a situation where we wouldn't approve them. And again, if that's the case, then maybe this section of the ordinance isn't doing what we thought. So those are my thoughts to begin with. Again, I can't find a reason why this one would have an exception. So.
Okay. Council members, any other discussion, or Mr. Bulow?
Just wanted to touch base on a couple things here because I got some questions raised to me over the last couple weeks. The first one was how this affects our residents and our neighbors that are in the addiction recovery community. And that was something that hit me pretty hard that I hadn't given good enough thought to ahead of time. So I've spent quite a bit of time in these last couple weeks reaching out to people that work in AODA and other addiction recovery services, both in a professional level and and people that are in recovery themselves. And there was pretty much a consensus among the 5 people that I talked to that they were all pretty clear that this doesn't move the needle for their concern. That gas stations, while I don't want to make gambling easier, and I think I've been pretty consistent that I don't like these machines, I don't play these machines, but it's not up to me to make determinations on just what I like, that gas stations are not a safe place for them as it is with lottery and the access to alcohol. And so none of the people that I talked to in the recovery community had any sort of concern about this leading to more or making it more accessible. And that was something that was very important that I had those conversations over the last couple of weeks. The other concern that was brought up quite a bit, and I talked to, I think all 3 of these over here today about the conducting connected premises. There is a rule in 125 about the connected premises, but it seems, and in our discussions, it seems like we're okay here because it says that it cannot be issued unless there is a secondary doorway that serves as a safety exit and is that the primary entrance to the Class B is not through the other premises. That's the way that I read it, of course. Deputy City Attorney Prescott, I just wanted to kick it over to you because I know you just got this recently, but that was my reading of it, and I wanted to get your impression on it as well.
That's what the law says, so I guess your determination, to the extent you make one, is looking at the floor plan or the layout, is there a primary exit or entrance, and is there a secondary entrance? Is the connection, in your opinion, considered the primary or the secondary? That's your, it's a factual issue, but
Sure.
your reading of the law is correct.
Okay. And in most of what I've read, it seems to be more concerned with the flow of product between the two is really called out, that that the state law does not, you cannot have a beverage from one go into the other, and you can't have a closed beverage go in here and get open up and drink. And I think in both of these, the one that we approved, the Quick Stop, and this one, it seems as if their business plan would not allow for that, and it would not encourage that. So I don't have a concern with that. I'm going to be voting to approve this, and Councilmember Stevenson is right. Our last thing did say that we don't want two different licenses on the same parcel unless approved by council, and you're right. If we approve this, I don't see how we don't approve other applicants that come forward as long as they meet the requirements that I see set out. So I'm going to be voting in the affirmative on this.
Mr. Flom.
Maybe rather quick and simple with this one. We've approved one with the exact same business plan. I know that we had some questions about, the time where we changed our ordinance and we changed our policies, but the prior store that we approved had the exact same business plan as this one. I mean, a little bit different, but very much in the same vein. So if we're going to be logically consistent here, we should go ahead and approve it. And then in terms of the discrepancies between state law and local ordinance, that's something for Madison to solve. So I will be voting to approve.
Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
I'm going to recommend an amendment, but I will vote no on the amendment when it comes through. I'm going to recommend the amendment that we approve this with the findings that the parcel size is of adequate size to have two different separate businesses with the two different entrances or egresses of some kind. That the traffic considerations aren't negligible to the site and it has adequate parking and will not cause a traffic concern, and that public and safety considerations have also been taken into effect, and we do not believe that it will cause an undue burden on public safety.
He's going to need a second to that for that to be included.
That's what this would look like if we were approving it, because we're talking about state law right here. Our local ordinance that we approved last time says we have to make those findings, says that we have to take those into consideration. It's not just like if Joe thinks it's cool or not. So I'm trying to provide those findings for you guys.
So the motion dies for lack of a second. However, Mr. Stevenson is 100% correct. If the body chooses to act against its own rules and laws that we've put on the books, ordinances, there should be a finding of fact. There should be a basis for that determination. So for those seeking to go against our own ordinances that are on the books, that would be a wise thing. Because without those, in the future, the precedent that has been set would be that there was no finding of fact, there was no thought to why it was against our rules, and yet we still approved it against that. So it would be a wise idea to include those, something along those lines, if this was going to be approved. Mr. Nichols.
Thanks. Just a question for the Deputy City Attorney. In the event that we do approve something that our own ordinances allow us to approve through an exception basis, isn't there a presumption that we found the things that it would say we need to find?
No.
think you would need to verbalize those.
But if we approve it and the law says you must consider these things, isn't approval on its own showing that we considered those things? Because we can't approve it if we don't consider those things.
Correct, but I think the court, not jump to a court, but it would look at what was discussed. You're a legislative body, you're allowed to make a legislative decision, and that is granted a lot of weight in the court system. So anyone who's looking at what you did is going to look not only at what you decided, what the final answer was, yes or no, but it's also going to look at the discussion. So for example, you probably don't have to go, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, but someone reviewing this would look at your discussion and say, one of you brought up traffic, one of you brought up the size of the parcel, one of you brought up other things. That was all part of the discussion. That could form the basis for a decision.
And in this hypothetical where we're in court, who's bringing the action?
Whoever feels that they were aggrieved, which I guess would be the applicant.
And so it'd be somebody in the future, if we approve this, it'd be somebody in the future who we deny.
Correct.
And so we could just approve this every time if we wanted to. And then no one's aggrieved, and no one sues us.
If yes, saying yes to everyone is...
And we end up in the same place we were 2 months ago.
Yes.
Great, thanks. I'll be voting yes on this. Any other? Not surprisingly, I'm going to be voting against. The reasons have not changed. While this is a problem and an issue that was created in Madison, and yes, they are the only ones to solve it, it doesn't mean that I have to accept it. And it doesn't mean that I have to allow participation in an illegal activity. It is an illegal activity. And that's been reaffirmed by the appellate division, the appellate courts. And again, the only reason that this is in front of us is because an applicant is more afraid of a felony charge than they are of a misdemeanor, and have done the calculus on the math here and said the misdemeanor charge is the cost of doing business if they were to get cited, and that they weren't interested in a felony. I don't believe that turning every convenience store, gas station, and grocery in this community into a casino is a good thing for this community. I think that is a very bad thing for this community. The correlation between poverty and gambling is strong. And for a community that at last check had a 44% free or reduced lunch participation rate in the Oshkosh area school districts, tells me we are a community that doesn't have a lot of money, that we are nearly at the poverty line for half of this community. So putting devices into every convenience store on every corner in this community doesn't seem like a very good thing, in my opinion. I'm about as strong of a supporter of free market capitalism as is going to sit up here, but I can also be pragmatic and think about the bigger picture, and that's why I'm still going to be voting no on this. So, Mr. Amos.
For me, this is a very tough topic, but I do think that at some point we do have to start adhering to our ordinance, our codes that we set. We did instruct the staff to change the code and put in there that one taxpaying parcel can't have 2 licenses. So I think that at some point we do need to adhere to that. As of right now, I think we're in a spot to say that the last license that we approved was based on the last code that we have, and now that we're under a new code, I think we're in a place to go ahead and set a precedence, so moving forward, we don't have more gas stations or corner stores or convenience stores coming forward and trying to get licensed solely for having gaming machines. So it's a tough topic, but I think that as a council, we have to go ahead and set that precedence for the ordinance that we have, so.
Okay. Any other comments? If not, City Clerk, we take the, oh, go ahead. Mr. Bulow's contemplating, you don't have to press it.
Okay,
Go ahead.
yeah. No, I'm going back to what Councilperson Stevenson said, and it's memorialized in the record and in the minutes about the comments that you made, whether or not it's a addendum to the resolution or not. And I think that's important to note that the plans for this building, at least to the best of my understanding, do have a separate entrance for this area. I do feel bad that I haven't gone down to Fond du Lac yet and looked at one that already operates, because I kind of want to do that. But I also point out that we do have it in our liquor law code that if they're not using the liquor license in 30 days, that it can be forced surrender. And so if they are getting this license and then not using it, that's only there for show, that is something that is an action that we can take. And I've been working with City Clerk Salinas on how that exactly looks and how we would administer that. But if they are not actually using the license, it's something that can be taken away. So it's something that I do feel comfortable moving forward with. And if they are using it, then they're following the purpose of that ordinance. They're selling alcohol there, and that's what this license allows them to do. Sorry, City Attorney, you had a.
Just so we're clear, you're correct in that they're the 30-day limitation, but I would suggest you all keep in mind that, we've had this discussion before, denying a license that hasn't been issued yet is a different process than taking one away that has been issued.
Sure.
And just to clarify our discussion, about the reasons for doing it, just so that I'm clear, and I'm not sure that hopefully I was, but someone reviewing this is not going to assume anything. It's going to look at the discussion that you've had, and if the words coming out were in fact addressing the list of things to look at, then that's what they're looking at. They're not going to divine what.
And for the analysis in the memo.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Deputy Chair. I won't belabor this one anymore, but across Wisconsin, every community I work for, they usually always, like when there is like a find, you don't have to find all of them to be true, but you usually in the recommendation do make a finding, and that recommendation then gets, that's what it says. It says like Councilman Bulow recommended approval with the finding that there are 2 doors, something like that. So I mean, that is best practice, that is traditional practice amongst Wisconsin. It's the same as if we had like a conditional use permit. Our conditional use stuff has very clear, what are you going to find about this permit and what are the findings and why would you approve it? A lot of times minutes don't say Joe talked about all these things, Carl talked about all these things. They're not going to go back and look at the video. So for record keeping, it usually is best practice to put it into like a motion, into a recommendation, because in the minutes, that's what you're going to read. In a minute, they're very brief. They're council a general discussion on this. They're not going to say Joe thought this place was really safe unless I made that finding specifically in a motion. So again, I am coming at this purely from probably a bureaucratic standpoint. I have a lot of experience in city government. I've seen this happen across Wisconsin. That's typically the norm, or where you want to get to. That's typically best practice.
An aggrieved party in a lawsuit is going to watch this video. And that's why they do it in
Yeah,
those
but I mean,
places. So
we shouldn't make ordinances if we're not going to follow them. Again, I have no issue with your business. We have an ordinance on record. I'm here to enforce it, so.
Seeing no other buttons pressed, City Clerk, if you'll take the roll on 2697.
Stevenson.
No.
Nichols.
Aye.
Amos.
No.
Plum.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Rugrauer.
No.
3-3.
That wraps up our action items for this evening. We move into council discussion, direction of city manager, as well as future agenda-related items. Discussion and direction of city manager, I have nothing there.
Future agenda items, meetings, and workshops. I do just want to let council know, should be at the next council meeting. I'll be bringing back some edits to the appointment and filling of vacancy process for council members. We chatted about that, I think, 2 meetings ago, maybe 3, somewhere in there. Made those edits and forwarded those on to staff for their, for their review, but it'll be under council discussion. It won't be an action item, and then we'll decide if there's any parts or all that we want to advance with or edit. Council member announcements and statements. Any council members have any announcements or statements? If not, city manager?
I just had one announcement before I hand it over to Drew Bailey, our communication and engagement manager. Just wanted to let the public know that we're going to be having some training or sign-up events for our AquaHawk and Invoice Cloud system. So we implemented Invoice Cloud for people to pay their water and tax payments, and there's a lot of benefits to signing up. You can do one-time payments without signing up, but there's benefits like scheduling payments in advance, paperless billing, paying by text message, as well as other things. AquaHawk allows people to get leak alerts, track water usage, and estimate their bill. So we just want to provide some opportunities for us to help people do that. So next week, we will be at the library on Monday, March 2nd from 2 to 4, and Wednesday from 9 to 11, that's March 4th. And then we'll be at the Senior Center on April 14th from 10 to 12, and April 17th from 1 to 3. And then I'll turn it over to Mr. Bailey.
So I have a slide deck prepared, but I don't know how that works for this, so I'm just going to assume it's going to
Magically appear. Wow. You divined it.
Wow. Thank you, Jake. I know that was Jake. So very grateful to be here. Thank you for giving me the time to have this opportunity to talk a little bit about our department, our new department. I have to tell you a story, though. So I'm now a month into this role, but a month ago, it was about 3 days into the role, and I had my first staff meeting where we were like our department head meeting, and we're all sitting there talking about a variety of things. And growing up from the small town of Burley, Idaho, and my mom, my dad, and my grandparents were all teachers. And the biggest thing they always told me to do was, when opportunity shows up, when someone needs something, raise your hand. Right? Typical teacher to tell you that, raise your hand, raise your hand. And so it's just been this thing instilled in me. Well, we're in this department meeting, and Rebecca says, you know, we would like everyone in the departments to eventually go up once a month and like talk about your department. Who wants to go first? And it was a bad time to go back to my roots there, and I'm just, I'll do it. And they're like, you've only been here 3 days. And I'm like, well, here we go. So I'm excited to really talk more about our goals as far as what we want to accomplish as a department and what that means for us as a city, what it means for you as a council, and how we can all work together in doing that. So will it pop up? Will I just tell you, Jake? It'll just go to the next slide.
Or you can
I can control it. Okay, there we go. Thank you. I'm new. I can use that excuse for a while.
You've got that for a little while yet.
So I'm going to read this, just our main goal for this, which is establish a consistent, concise city brand by organizing a team that covers the needs of the department and city, creating updated brand guidelines, implementing better social and external tools to build stronger relationships within the city of Oshkosh. You don't have to remember that whole thing. I'm going to break it down to essentially the 3 key things, which is organize a team that covers the needs in the department and the city, create updated brand guidelines, and implement better social and external tools. So focusing on a team, I'm the luckiest guy in the world to have the team that I do. I'm so excited that I got to step in and have so many great, hardworking individuals with vast experience within the city and different organizations. And so being able to come into this role and just more or less figure out how we can work together in these different pieces has been a great and exciting experience for me. Key thing for us is really trying to hone in on everyone's experiences and ability to be great storytellers. That's what we do in communications and in engagement. We craft stories, we try to create messages, of course, but how do we incorporate that into a bigger picture? So being able to, again, really bring in this team and understand how we can go about doing that together to ultimately, as a group, as a city council, as a staff, as a community, how do we strengthen our overall communication collaboration process? That's a really big thing. Obviously, this is a new position, but communication is not a new thing. It's been around forever, and so being able to have a department purely focused on that and improving those processes is really exciting. It's a lot of work, though. We have a long way to go, but we've made a lot of great progress already, and we have a lot of exciting opportunities going forward. And big thing for us as far as team is growth, obviously, and one thing we really want to focus on is building up an internship program, working with UWO, working with the local high schools, whatever it takes, but being able to give these students experiences to experience what it means to make an actual impact on your community and the city you serve in. So that's something we're going to be working towards and getting that going hopefully soon. So the brand, so I kind of tread on this lightly just because there's a lot of things that go into this, but really what we're trying to do is evaluate what our brand means as the city of Oshkosh. What does it mean to discover the soul of a brand? What does it mean to have a voice? So really coming into this process, understanding, learning as much as I can, as much as we can as a team, rediscovering who we are. I forgot to mention at the very beginning of this presentation, I labeled it Rediscover Oshkosh. I've spent a lot of time with Amy and her team at Discover Oshkosh, and they've been able to teach me a lot of things, and I've been sitting there and talking with new people that are new to Oshkosh like me, or those who have been here for multiple years, and something I have found is when you talk about Oshkosh, it always seems that no matter where you go, there's always something new that you didn't know before, or there's something you can rediscover that kind of lights your fire as far as why is this such a great place. And so for me, my team is really, okay, how do we help people rediscover Oshkosh? How do we continue to show them the great things that are here and the things that are coming up? So with this brand, again, it's understanding what's our voice, what's our passion, what's our goals, how do we, do that visually, or how do we, bring the excitement to rep like a logo, rep the city of Oshkosh. What does that look like, whether it be visual storytelling, swag, whatever it may be, but it all starts with creating clear and consistent brand guidelines, which is what we're working through right now. And then the plan, as far as those external tools, right, when you think of marketing, you think of social media, you think of communication plans, which are all a huge part, and with that, again, starts with what is our why, what is driving us as a city, as a department, what are those things and how can we work and do better in that and communicating. So for us right now, big thing is consolidating, really tightening up our social media approach. We have a lot of things that we're trying to bring in together and so that we have a clear voice so it's not confusing for everyone. No one has to wonder where do I go to get information or how do I get the best information. So being able to consolidate and streamline that process is really important. And you all have heard this of our process of getting a new website and making that a much better experience. That's really exciting, and that's a big task, but it's one that absolutely makes such a huge impact for everyone. So we're excited to get that going now. And then, of course, it's not just catching up with the times. It's not just making sure, okay, we're on par as far as like technology and systems. We want to be a city that is progressive, that's proactive. We want to be leading efforts. So it's being able to look and search and find the best tools. What things can we try? What can we do to be a leader instead of just catching up? So those are the three things. I'm really excited again for the opportunity to work with all of you. I've got a chance to meet with a couple of you, and I'm excited to kind of meet the rest of you as we go along. And yeah, just very grateful for my team. Shout out to Jake, who's running this in the meeting right now. So thank you for your time.
Council, any questions?
Questions?
No? Yeah.
Do I take questions?
Look at that. Mr. Floam, followed by Mr. Nichols.
Thank you, Mayor. Really appreciate this. We need a streamlined communication strategy. We need a lot of modernization in terms of the way that we engage with people. So it's great to see this start. I would say in terms of a rough timeline, what do you expect to have achieved 6 months from now?
If you would ask me that and ask Rebecca, we have really big, high expectations, which is a great thing. And really what I've gone over is in my like desires and what I planned out is within 6 months. That's what my goal is. If you were to ask Michelle in HR, she would say that's an aggressive goal, which that describes me a bit. So yes, this is within 6 months, the things we're talking about. So implementing, finding a website, getting that going, consolidating, streamlining our social processes, having these teams really focus in, that's sooner rather than later, and then this internship program already starting within there. So, yeah.
Good. I like aggressive. Thank you.
Mr. Nichols.
Thanks. I don't have a question, I have a comment. So, and if you'll go back a little bit with me, when we hired Rebecca, I don't know, 10 years ago now, it feels like, the amount of work you've done.
I started a year ago today.
A year ago today.
Yes.
Happy anniversary. Way to make it all about you, Rebecca.
Well, we have a birthday too.
When we interviewed you, one of the things that you talked about in your interview was this project of having a communications department and being a leader in Wisconsin and cities our size in terms of communication. And that was one of the things that what definitely made me a yes vote when we hired you a little over a year ago. And I'll also say that I work for a company that makes billions of dollars a year with profits in the hundreds of millions and a guest satisfaction rate that is the same or better than any luxury brand or family entertainment brand that exists. And it's because we focus on the things that you're talking about, where you create a brand that people understand, that they know where to go for information, they want to come back. That's the second most important thing we do as a company that makes, again, billions of dollars. The first thing is safety. So we're focused on that as a city. And the second natural thing is to make sure people are happy here and know how to ask their questions and understand who we are as people. So I'm so excited that we're focusing on this. I think it would have been great if we did it 10 years ago, and the fact that you're going to do it all in the next 6 months is amazing, and it'll really cause us to catch up. But I really appreciate you being here. Rebecca, thank you for your leadership to get us to this point. And council, thanks for hiring the person that's going to make sure this is the priority.
Thank you.
Mr. Buelow.
I'm going to say something I'm sure you've been echoed to many times is through a lot of the committees that I've been working with, we'll say like, oh, we want this piece of information, and we'll hear, oh, that exists, it's on the internet somewhere. Or, oh, I wish we could get better communicating this to her. Oh, that exists, it's on the internet somewhere. And what I found out over the last like 6 months of digging into it a little bit more in different committees is the information is out there, and we are rubbish at making it get to the people that want to find it, and in the way that they want to find it. Just putting it on Facebook doesn't work anymore, and just having it on the website doesn't work anymore. So I love that you have a fully developed idea of how we can get that out to them. And I also really like that you said we're not going to try to get up to standard. We're going to try to be ahead of our peers in what we can do and our capabilities. And I think that's going to make our whole staff more efficient, because if we are showing what we already know and showing what we already do, it's going to make those questions come in a little bit less. It's going to, if somebody knows what streets are going to be paved in 2027, they're not going to be calling as often to know, hey, what streets are going to be paved. So I appreciate all of that.
Thank you.
Love ambitious goals. Good luck. Let us know how we can support you.
Okay, you got it. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager, anything more from you?
No,
Others, I
that's
think
it.
Deputy Mayor's got some words to say to us.
A long motion. I move to convene in a closed session pursuant to Section 19.851E of the Wisconsin State Statutes, where competitive bargaining reasons require closed session to discuss bargaining options, strategy, parameters, and terms related to the potential acquisition of properties located in the 900 and 1,000 blocks of South Main Street in the city of Oshkosh, and Section 19.851E of the Wisconsin State Statutes, where competitive bargaining rights. Do I need to read that all again? Acquisition of property located at 101 Commerce Street and 201 Pearl Avenue in the city of Oshkosh, commonly known as the City Center, and Section 19.851E of the Wisconsin State Statutes, where competitive bargaining reasons require a closed session to discuss bargaining options, strategy, parameters, and terms related to the potential redevelopment and/or acquisition of property at 118 High Ave, commonly known as Gunderson property, and 114 High Ave, commonly known as Thompson Studio property, both in the city of Oshkosh. And Section 19.851E of the Wisconsin State Statutes, where competitive bargaining reasons require a closed session to discuss bargaining options, strategy, parameters, and terms related to the memorandum of understanding with the GOH Inc. and the potential sale, leasing, or redevelopment of the Grand Opera House.
So moved.
He moved it. You got a
second. Sorry.
Council, any Mr. Buelow?
As always, I'm just going to make it very clear that I'll be sitting out anything that deals with 118 High, 114 High, or the Grand Oshkosh, as it is my employer.
Council, you were provided background information for the closed sessions related to the 900,000 block of South Main Street, as well as City Center.
and as well as the Gunnarsson property, the Thompson Studio property, and the Grand Opera House redevelopment projects. Are there any questions on the background information while we're still in open session? I see none. If you'll take the roll on going into closed session.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Nichols.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Flum.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Mulgrauer.
Aye.
6-0.
I'll take a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.